Willow, episode 8, titled Children of Wyrm. And this episode is the end of the show. The end of Willow. Yes, I mean, very critical on the show. I'm sorry, what? What? Oh, there's a post-credit scene? For what? Wait, they're doing a season 2. They did the Loki thing when they, how Marvel announced season 2. They did it in the post-credit scene with books, with volumes 1, 2, 3. Even though, wouldn't the movie be volume 1 and this would be volume 2? So technically, was this game volume 3? No. Okay, sorry. The end of season 1. So this is a case of what I think of the final episode of season 1 of Willow. It's more issues, really, and the biggest problem is I'm watching this episode and I realize, as much as like the last couple of episodes hasn't been that bad, I realize that I just, while you're having this big battle, it's meant to be this big crescendo and the big emotional thing, and what's going to fight a big villain and all that kind of stuff, I just don't care. I haven't been invested with the story. So, and I'm like, thinking about, hey, what could have they done? I was like, you know what? Flesh out Eric. Flesh out, Kit's relationship with Eric. What they were as kids. Set little flashbacks of typical, kids running around the garden. Flesh out the villains. I mean, the villains are, you got 5 henchmen. Four henchmen that are just something that the heroes can fight, and then who get killed off screen, by the way. Like, they do the whole, like, one stand back and gotta fight them while, the door's closed, and then busts through the door, and I'm like, okay. I was like, okay, you said these big threats, and you don't see them, how they get killed off, okay, fine. But, you also have the main villain, which we met last week. We met in episode 7. But the problem is, because she only shows up last week, there's not much development. There's not much of, like, what's the deal, what's the whole thing, all that kind of stuff. So the point saves, and I'm like, you could have saved the whole big monologue thing, and the big reveal that it was her, it's, but was it the Harvard, the Gov, or whatever the bloody hell the villain's name is, that gets revealed halfway through the season versus the second last episode, so you can flesh her out and flesh her as a character, because all she does is monologue. She does the whole, like, Dove, Aurora, come join me, you're more powerful, we'll be, we'll control armies and see see things crumble, to quote the Incredible, she starts monologuing, like, one day, it will be hers, and I'm like, this is not, like, the CGI for a TV budget on this villain is not that bad, and the big battle between the two, I was like, fine. I mean, they're shooting lightning at each other. I mean, basically, it's Harry Potter. Yeah, but at least Harry Potter, when it comes to magic, they will find it a little bit more exciting. But that's what it is. It's lightning bolts. And I'm like, okay, this is fine. And of course, Laura's going to find her true self, and she's, powers are coming in, but she's still holding back, and she's going to unleash and fight the villain. And you have Eric being all like, no, my queen, my love, and all kind of stuff to the villain, And I'm like, this is a romance that just happened last week. We need to have that romance peppered in out through the entire season. That, he will fall for her. And it isn't just, he took, some water out, some honky water out. It's just like, for me, it just wasn't enough. You have jokes and scenes. I felt like the whole camouflage thing you could easily cut out. the biggest problem with the show is let me be invested with the characters, let me care about what's going on, versus just things happening. And it's like the pieces are there, it's just how it's done. Like, by episode 3, Willow's friend dies and I don't feel anything. The song gets played by the end, I'm like, what, I was kind of looking for some, like, big apocalyptic, like, like episode 3 with with some of the Targa, with some Twisted Sisters. It's that's the problem with the show. It's like the things are there, you get frustrated by it, but because they're focusing on like who, bad time, bad place, will they, won't they, and when will he, when will one of the characters tell the truth and how he feels about her? I'm like, I get you want to do, because they're treating the show like it's a big long fairy tale, but the fairy tale aspect of it is the love conquers all, which is is a common theme in fairy tales, but it could easily just be like, show it, just have someone like, even if they do the romantic, like, hold someone by the clothes and like, kind of like shove and kiss me in the middle of a battle. Say, you could do that. The show love comforts all, and then the villain wins. The heroes win, and that whole thing. We get more cameos. We get some voice cameos from Val Kilmer's character, and we never see him, which I was like, are we going to see him? I mean, you could always do a Luke Skywalker Mandalorian thing, but again, it could easily be like, oh, people don't like that. It's a little bit creepy in the Uncanny Valley. Okay, we'll stop that. Which I was like, oh, yeah, that's neat. That's nice. But yeah, for me, will I check a season 2 out? Probably not. Unless you guys want me, if a season 2. When season 2 comes along, do you want me to cover it? If that's so, you just want me to rant about stuff, and that's the case. That's the case. But thank God for some clickers on Monday or Sunday, whatever the part of the world you are. Thank dear God. And knowing the reviews of that show, we're going to get some really good clickers and emotional scenes in that. So, I'm excited with that show. I'm a little bit like, oh, thank God. No, not an episode of this show yet.